Hello, everyone. I know it's been some time. And I want to welcome you back to another empowering episode of Trauma Talk Tuesday. I'm Juanita Gaynor, your guide through these candid conversations about healing and growth. Now, if you're new here, consider subscribing and joining our community. Each Tuesday, we deep dive into stories of resilience and triumph and the journey towards healing from trauma. Now, we know these conversations can be tough, but they're crucial. Together, we create a safe space to share, learn, and support one another. Now, before we jump into today's discussion, make sure you hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. And if you find our talks, engaging and in value, give us a thumbs up. It really helps our community grow. And so today, we're exploring the maternal bond since we're in the month of May, but we're talking about the lack of it. Now, this topic is very close to many people's hearts, and it's something that is near and dear to me. So I cannot wait to hear your thoughts and your comments below. So grab your favorite cozy drink, settle in, and let's embark on another healing journey together. This is Trauma Talk Tuesday. So, I know you've missed me. I've been MIA for a while. I've had some surgery, and it was a good time and, pretty trying time. So many times I talk about self-care and doing things and making sure you're healing, but this particular time was a little bit trying for me because I couldn't do things that I normally would do. I had to have surgery on my hand and my arm, and I'm predominantly, I'm right-handed, so I couldn't do the basic things. And so I had to take grace on myself to be able to get through that. It was challenging for me. And so as I'm growing through my healing journey, it allows me to help you grow through yours. These are the things that I don't discuss with clients. I don't get down into the weeds. So that is what Trauma Talk Tuesday is about. It is about sharing my experiences through the healing journey, what I'm doing to get through that process so that I can help others get through the process as well. So today we're going to be talking about motherless, celebrating what was never yours. We're going to just delve into the topic that resonates with so many of us on different levels, and it's the concept of being motherless. And I thought this would be a great time to really discuss this since, Mother's Day is coming up for a lot of people, and we don't discuss with those, who are motherless. And we're not talking about today, I'm not talking about those who have, passed on. I'm talking about more so the ones of us who've been abandoned, and a lot of times it was, for me, it was a combination of choice and circumstance. While when I look long term, I understand the reason that my mother left, but it doesn't feel or heal the hole that is there, and when you have that absence of that mother figure, it can leave a profound impact on your life. But however, in the midst of the void, there's a journey of self-discovery and resilience and unexpected sources of love and support, So we're going to go through this introspective journey today, as we explore those complexities of being motherless and the beauty found in celebrating, what was never ours kind of to begin with. And so when I think about, there's a couple of scenarios, you know, for me, growing up without my mother was very challenging. Yes, I had my grandmother, yes, I had aunts, but there was always a part of me that felt like I just wasn't good enough. I wasn't, good enough for her to stay, good enough for her to treat me right, good enough to want me. So therefore, it didn't matter what other people did. Like, of course I had my grandmother, but celebrating your grandmother at Mother's Day is not the same as celebrating your mother. And so yes, I celebrated, you had mother figures, had godmothers, had people around me, but I would always wonder what would my mother have done, when I got in trouble at school, or when I was bullied at school, or when I got married, or when I decided not to have children, of my own. Like, what would that advice been? What would that care possibly could have been? Um, when I had my first surgeries, when I was going through, and honestly, would have gone through a lot of my trials, would have gone through a bad marriage, would have gone through maybe not wanting kids at all. Would the trauma of my life been different had she been around, or would have been more trauma? So there's so many things that encompasses that. And when you think about not having a mother, I had to become independent and self reliant. And it also led into another aspect, what I called being a parentified sibling. That will be another time during this segment, during the series of this. But so therefore, I'm the older sibling. And so I became, the parental figure. So not only do I have a mother, I didn't have a childhood. And by the time that was, alleviated, I was, it didn't matter anymore. And so I'm absent of childhood, I'm absent of mother. And and the crazy thing was is that I didn't feel, how should I say this? I didn't feel like I missed anything. And the reason I didn't feel I missed anything because I never had it to miss. Like, my mother was never there. She had never been, like, she may have been there and, present, but really mentally and emotionally and whatever, she was never there. So I couldn't miss celebrating something that I never, did. Like, my grandmother probably had us the majority of our life, and the memories, the small memories that I do have, I have some great ones, don't get me wrong. But they're so far and few between. Most of my experiences of my mother is traumatic. And so I don't wish to, ooh, like, I'm missing that, or Mother's Day, or I don't even, honestly, I know when my mother's birthday is, but the day comes and goes, and it's not is, horrific or hurting as, sometimes when you think of my grandmother, I do miss her. And it's difficult at times because then some people see us as cold. Because I know I'm not the only one that experienced that, but what's probably happened is, like, most people won't say it, and I'm gonna say it out loud. We're not cold, we're not heartless, we're not any of those things. What it has happened is that we've had to learn to survive. We've learned to, do it on our own. Just like when you think about, for most of us, when we were children, we didn't know we were poor because we always had a roof over our head, or we always had food, or, something. We didn't know we was poor until we get older and we pay bills and we're like, okay, we were poor. And it's just like that. Like, you don't know what it means to not have a mother until one day it's dead in your face and you have milestone events. Oh, I didn't think this was going to trigger me like that. I remember my high school graduation. Nobody came to my high school graduation. I had nobody to come to my high school graduation. When I graduated, by the time I graduated high school, my grandmother had already passed. She had passed the year before. So I had nobody. And I remember I sang at the graduation, but I had nobody there. And then it was at that moment I began to realize what not having that person or people meant. So, because there's not a lot of family, and my mother was an only child. So you get, okay, you don't. I remember when I got my first degree, I didn't walk because I didn't have anybody to, walk with you. And you think of those things. Um, I remember when I got married, you know, yeah, just those things. They kind of triggered some emotions for me. You know, you think about, I think about all of those milestone events, and each time you just shove the emotion down because it's like, it's going to be okay. You'll make it through. You're going to be a survivor. You know, whether, when you think about being motherless, whether it's by choice or estrangement or circumstances beyond your control, the absence of a mother figure shapes your identity in profound ways. In the midst of our struggles, there's often a silver lining, which is an opportunity to redefine what family means to us and the resilience that lies within. As I've been navigating my life's twists and turns, I have family, but it's not blood. I've had to learn how to forge connections. I've had to learn how to go outside of myself and trust people on the outside, because that's a scary thing for me, because I have been used and abused and misused and lied to, and given the thing of, yes, I'll help you, but it's, we need something out of it, or promising coverage or love or support and really not meaning it. And so when, as I talk with not only of myself, but when I talk with potential clients or when I talk in groups and I ask women, and I'm talking to women, I'll come for the guys next month. But when I ask them, when they think about their relationship with other women and the issues that they have with other women, I want them to go back to the first woman that broke your heart. And for me, it was my mother. So the one person that was supposed to love me and trust, and protect me and cover me and build me up was the one who destroyed me. So I had no basis of what female relationships should be, because, my mother wasn't there. And the part of it that was there was very damaging, was very abusive. And so I really had to dig deep within. I really had to do counseling. As you will hear me say, no matter what I do and however I talk, I will always, always be a champion of mental health and therapy. I had to go through some things and really forge those external connections. Now, the journey has been daunting, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I will be 50 years old in December, and I am still processing. I am still healing, because this trauma didn't happen overnight. And it's not going to happen overnight. but how I navigate through it is going to allow me to heal, but it's also going to allow you to know that you can successfully get through this, you know, because in this process, I had to unravel who I am, you know, because instead of identifying who I was, I became a parentified sibling. I became a people pleaser. I became what others wanted me to be because I had no full identity of my own and I had no guidance of what that identity should be. And now I know people say, well, that's a bad thing. My mother didn't do great, you know, but I also had to reach and understand what her trauma was. And when I came to a point in my life when I had to realize that the things that I needed, forget wanting, let's forget want, the things that was needed in my life to be a fully functional, productive person, she didn't have the capability to give them because they were not poured into her in those formative years. She had her own traumatic trauma that she never dealt with, that she used drugs to numb. And so she couldn't pour into me because she had nothing to pour. And of course, as I've gone through my healing process, I've understood that. So I want you, as though the one who's, you're not connected with your mom, she may be deceased, she may have abandoned you and she's no longer here, and you're searching for those answers. I want you to look at it through this lens of you're asking a person to give you things that you desperately need to flourish that they don't have. They don't have the capacity to give it. And I remember when my mom left us. I remember the day she walked away forever. And I used to just beat myself up so much because I'm like, I wasn't good enough for her to stay. I wasn't good enough for her to get off the drugs. I wasn't good enough for her to stop beating us. I wasn't good enough for her to stop, pimping me out and being sexually abused. I wasn't good enough for any of that. But I had to realize that in my healing journey, when she walked away, when she made the decision that she was going to forever walk away, it was the one moment in her life where she probably had the most clarity, where the drugs wasn't clouding her view, where the emotions wasn't clouding her view. She had the most clarity. Now, while I understand it was the best thing for us at the time, it still did not hurt. It still didn't leave a void, and a void that we don't talk about. So many of us, we don't talk about it because we don't want to go through the pain of dealing with it. We don't want to go through the pain of not discussing it. We think we're going to be fine. And we will. We will be fine. We will be fine. But you have to begin to talk about it. We have to kind of deep dive into it. We have to identify and know all the things that we want to do and how we want to do it. Because in all other things, it can just be a crazy thing when it comes to it and when you think about it. But I absolutely just love how, in the process of me healing, I have been able to know that. I have been able to, put out there in words what has been affecting me and how it's been affecting me and what's been going on. So to all of those who are motherless, remember this: your worth is not defined by your circumstances, and your journey is uniquely yours to navigate. Embrace the beauty of your resilience. Celebrate the love that surrounds you, and never underestimate the power of your own strength. You know, Never underestimate that. Is it going to be difficult? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely. That's what it's about. It's going to be crazy. It's going to, you're going to be just like, really? Am I really doing this? Am I really, you know, doing all of this? Yeah, you are. You really are. And it's going to be okay. And it's going to be okay. So, since May is the time where we talk about and discuss and celebrate mothers, we will be coming a little bit more frequently for this month, just talking about some various topics to come, to talk about things like this. One, the parentified sibling. What are the boundaries and the things to do when you have a sibling that stepped into the role, or has been forced to step into the role as parent? How are they celebrated, and how are those boundaries put in place so that they can have an idea and a life of their own? Also, honoring, motherhood through creativity, talking about celebrating motherhood and non-biological families, um, and like, what is the legacy of it? How can we address the legacy? How can we, moving forwards? Motherhood beyond gender norms. Like, there's so many avenues and aspects of this motherless discussion that we're going to have this month, so that we can really deep dive and really leave with a great understanding of those topics and how we can heal and move forward. So I want to thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and celebration. And remember to like, share, and to subscribe for more empowering content. And until next time, take care and keep celebrating. I'm going to say this again, and keep celebrating the beauty of your unique journey. Bye for now. So, if you like today's discussion and if it resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share with someone who might benefit. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful conversations on healing and growth. Click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. And we love hearing from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, or any topics you would like us to cover in the comments below. Your voice matters, and this community is here to support you. Connect with us on social media for behind the scenes content, updates, and more. The links are in the description. And thank you for being a part of Trauma Talk Tuesday and the Trauma Talk Tuesday family. Remember, you're not alone on your journey. And until next Tuesday, take care of yourself and each other. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk with you soon. Goodbye.